Hey everybody, it's me, Nicole Rivera from the Stop Writing Alone podcast, and here on the MV Rivera YouTube channel, sharing writing prompts and exercises all year round, so you and I can write 52 short stories in 52 weeks. What I'm actually going to give to you this week is kind of like 3 prompts in 1. I was thinking I should spread it out, but I didn't want to be too repetitive, so rather than come at you for 3 weeks with 3 similar type prompts, I'm going to load it all in here, and you can decide if you want to use this once, you want to use this over and over again in place of other prompts that maybe didn't spark for you. But here's the deal. For the last couple of weeks, I've been participating in a course called Write at the Museum with WordWest Press. And we've been doing it out here in New York City. Essentially what we've been doing is, as a group, we've been visiting different museums here in New York City with a prompt in mind, and then we each go home, write our stories, and then we had a follow-up Zoom call to read aloud what we wrote from our experience. It has been awesome. I'm really loving it for a number of reasons. Number one, I live in a place that has loads of museums, and, I do life and I forget to go. So it's getting me out to the museums, but also I'm really loving how it's inspiring my writing in ways, just like all prompts, it sort of takes you into a space that you don't normally think. And so you're writing about things that you wouldn't possibly normally write about. So here's the deal. How is this multiple prompts in one? The assignment is to go to a museum or cultural space. And since that can come in various forms, I'm just going to give you a prompt for each type of space that I can think of. So, and let me just pause here and say that I am dog sitting and the dog is randomly barking. So just in case you hear some barking, that's all it is. I'm not under attack. So let's say you go to, like we did on our first adventure, go to an art museum. Our first museum that we went to was the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The prompt for an art museum is simply this. You're going to go into the art museum. You're going to spend your time there. And if you want any guidance, what we've been doing is we've been doing 2-hour trips, 1 hour with the group, and then 1 hour for us to each sort of break off and go on our own and either explore or spend that time writing in the museum. But you do you, whatever it takes. You take your time, you walk around the museum, and as you're looking at all of the artwork, what you're thinking of is that you're on a quest for a character. You're looking at the subjects of the different pieces of artwork, and you're looking for someone that pops out and is ready to be on your page. So bring your camera, take pictures. If you can't go, although I really want you to go, if you can't, and I get that, this is something that can definitely be used with a virtual tour. Head over to YouTube, look up your favorite museum, and see if somebody has, a walking tour for you. And you can do exactly the same thing. Sit, watch the video, look for a subject in a painting or a piece of sculpture, whatever type of art it is, that will be your character for your story this week. That's if it's an art museum. What if the museum you want to go to is more of like a science museum or a historical museum or a combination of two? So our second museum was a museum of natural history, which is kind of both of those things. So our prompt was to go on our exploration. And this time, instead of looking for characters, we were looking for 3 fun facts. I put fun in air quotes because it's possible that the fact that is intriguing to you is actually not fun. It might be something really sad or terrible that happened in history or in science, but you're looking for the facts that when you go to the museum and you read it and you see it, you're like, I didn't know that. It's making me think. I can't sort of walk away without thinking about that. 3 of those that you will put into one story. So essentially, go on your trip, go through the museum, and just when you have one of those moments that, take note of it. Either write it down. I bring a notebook with me on all my trips, or take a picture of it. I have lots of photos of the plaques next to exhibits now because of all of the gathering of information that I'm doing. And then come home and put all 3 of those facts into one story. It's a bit of a challenge, but it's also pretty cool. Let's say you are not going to the art museum, you're not going to a science or history museum, and instead you're feeling more pulled towards some outdoor space like a botanical garden or even a zoo, let's say. Then your prompt is going to be different. I want you to rely on your senses. I want you to think about something that you see going into a story, a visual, and something that you smell. So you would come home with a sight and a scent, and you will put that into your story. And I say come home because that's what I've been doing. I've been coming home and then beginning my writing, sort of letting everything settle on my trip home. But you can do your writing there if that works for you. Either way, those are 3 different prompts for you. Art museum, go look for a subject and put them and write a story about them. History or science museum, find 3 facts. If 3 is, no, I was going to say if 3 is too many, go for 2. Make sure you have multiple facts and see what that does for you in your writing. And if you're in outdoor, sort of more natural space, a sight and a scent. Could do a sound too. In fact, that's the only one. The scent is the only one that couldn't be done virtually. So I guess if you're doing something like that virtually, then do a sight and a sound. If you're there, go for all 3 and put them into your story. That is it. That is it. And you can do it once. You can do it 3 times. You can do it an infinite number of times. You can do it for every museum that you love. And I think I will be doing this. I don't know if I'm going to be in Writer Mind now. Every single time I have a museum trip, I'm going to be thinking about what prompt applies to this space and then come home and write another story. But I want you to have fun with this. Enjoy. I've been having a blast not only doing this writing. I'll put in the show description a link to the one story that I've shared on Story Cauldron right now. That's the one from the Metropolitan Museum of Art, to give you an idea of the, because I added the picture also. You can see the piece of artwork that inspired my story and then the story that came from it. If this is not clear in any way, but I think it's pretty clear, not too challenging. But I want you to have fun with it. Happy writing, and I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
It's time to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss another video, and stop writing alone by joining the Mighty Network's Stop Writing Alone network to find your writing peeps today. Also, let's not forget where this all started in the Stop Writing Alone podcast, anywhere you listen to podcasts, including this YouTube channel. One more reason to subscribe now.